Guys, Halo Nader here. Today I got a new video for you. But first of all, before we start off, I want to introduce my friend. Gabe, you there? There we go. I want to introduce my friend King Gabe. He just started out his channel. His link will be in the description below. We also made some. He has a new video up, and it's called.
It's called High School Caught Fire.
Okay. High School Caught Fire.
Also
Go.
another new video with GTA honoring 9/11.
Indeed, because my good friend Jay Sean and I, we made a new video. It was. Shoot. He just made a new channel. I'll give him a shout out once I get his channel name. But other than that, let's start this video. Remember to subscribe to King Gabe. We made some game clips. Look me up, Halo Nader 27, then look him up, King Gabe 08. And today, we're gonna be talking about something a little emotional, and that is, of course, saying the time being 9/11. You know, saying I wasn't born during the time. It's not gonna be my story, but instead it's gonna be my mother's story. And luckily, I got her to talk about the incident, saying, you know, it was a little hard for her to talk about it, but we are lucky enough to get her story. Also, I'm sorry if you can't hear the game. I needed to turn it down just so you'd hear my friend here. You know, you gotta sacrifice stuff for some other stuff. But Gabe, on the topic of this video, do you have any comments at all?
Yes, I do. Since it's 9/11, and I would like to say something.
Okay.
One of my cousins were actually in the 9/11 event.
Really?
And was killed.
Really, yeah. That's terrible. No man should ever live through that, and that is terrible. No man should ever have his life taken, and you know, something like that. But they're in a better place now, at least. And you know, let's get right into this. So, my mother, she was working at a mall during the attacks, and she was just getting ready to go to work. She had to. She was Of course, she was working at a mall, and she was in the bathtub. Then my aunt, she was calling my mother, and of course, she would my Aunt Cheryl, she had a child. Her child was just a little tyke at the time, so she probably needed someone to watch him or something. But instead, my mother got something a little different, a big surprise, and probably one of the worst things she would have ever heard in her life, at least. My Aunt Cheryl, she just got out of the army at the time. She was deployed in Iraq. God bless her heart. But she was in Iraq, and she experienced events that no person should ever experience. And the only reason why she got out, she was lucky enough for things that do not really matter at the time anymore. Yeah, but she told my mom, we are under attack. I think a bomb just went off in the World Trade Center. And my mom, being the teenager she wasn't really a teenager. She was 22, but she wasn't really she just cared about her future. She didn't really care about things around the world. So my mom, she got on her computer and looked up the World Trade Center. She didn't know what it was, so but she looked up the World Trade Center, and pretty much she did that, and she said, okay, so you know, this is going on, so let's try. And she got on back on the phone and she said, okay, so we're under attack. And she wasn't really too scared because, you know, we're America, and really you shouldn't be afraid. You know, it's not too often that America is under attack. It's besides, like, she didn't really expect it, and she didn't really think anything too bad to come from it, but really it's the inevitable happened. So that all happened, and pretty much she still had to go to work, so she went to work. She was pretty scared, and she looks at the in the parking lot. There's only like a few cars. Like no one is at no one is at the mall, and she's pretty scared. She's like, oh shoot, this is the real deal. So she goes into the mall. Her boss says, okay, get into the break room. You know, we're all in here. You know, da 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 da. You know, well, everyone goes into the break room, and my mom's friend Lois, she has a ham radio, and they're listening to what's going on, and she's listening. They're all listening to what's going on, like the news. They're talking about what just happened. Then they get the word. Then they get the word. We are under attack. And then at this time, this is when the second tower was hit, and like they didn't exactly know if we were being attacked or not. They just kind of thought, okay, something just happened. Then the second plane crashed into the World Trade Center. This is when like security came in and said, okay, we need everyone to leave the facility now. Then the Pentagon got attacked, and everything went down. My mom went home with Lois, her friend, and pretty much that all happened. And my mom still remembers the event today, and it's just terrible. Well, she goes home, you know, a few weeks pass, and she's still just terrified. Like, her sister and both are terrified about what happened. You know, it's something that was just unexpected, and no one, you know, they didn't think, like, it would happen. Of course, it just kind of happened, but, you know, they expected, like, something happened, and they didn't expect we were under attack. God, I don't know how many times I repeated that. But, you know, that'll happen, and weeks passed, and, like, there was a place, like, a little shop in the mall that my mother worked at. There was these Muslim people, and of course, being the Americans we are, people, you know, said really racist things to these people, and I can't even say them. It's so terrible. So that pretty much just wraps it up for this video. Now, of course, personally, of course, 9/11 was a terrible thing, but really, we wouldn't be having the war on terror if that never happened. And well, imagine if like the war on terror never happened. Like so many, like we would probably still go to Iraq and all those places to combat you know, terrorists, because, you know, there's slaves. Like just recently some Marines freed some slaves that was in a parade. Terrible. But that happened, and of course it was, you know, just something that no man should ever experience at all. Yeah. Gabe, do you have any comments on this video? Or any comments about anything here? No comment? So, that wraps that up for this video. Remember to go subscribe to King Gabe. You know, he has some good contact on there. He just started. Go bash that subscribe button. And may I say, I've been getting so many views, like 30 to 60 views. It means a lot, you know, even like 20 views, you know, it means a lot, people. Everyone have a wonderful day, wonderful night, whichever one you prefer. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.